Hi everyone and welcome back to Priscilla's Kitchen, and in today's tutorial we're making some Efo Riro with some smoked turkey, so please keep on watching. In a bowl I have about 8 pieces of smoked turkey. You can use whatever meat you want. You can use shaki, you can use pomo, you can use beef, you could use lung, but I really like smoked turkey, so I'm going to lightly season this with a tablespoon of chicken seasoning, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and 2 Maggi cubes. As you already know, well, most people know that smoked turkey is already flavorful, it's already salty, so that's why I'm not adding any salt. And I don't want to be heavy-handed with the seasonings because I don't want this to be too salty. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge for about 30 minutes to marinate, or you can marinate it overnight as it'll be really flavorful. In a bowl I have about 5 bell peppers, 2 large onions, and 3 scotch bonnet peppers, and I've just removed as much of the seeds as I can. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to the blender just to help propel the blades. I don't want this to be smooth. I really want this mixture to have a very thick texture, as you can see, and I'm going to add that into the pot. And I'm going to repeat the same steps with the remaining of the peppers. And you can even add in tomatoes at this point when you're blending it, but however I don't because I feel like it makes it bitter. And also add your scotch bonnet peppers according to your tolerance, if you like it more spicy or even more mild. Now I've set my stove to medium high and I'm going to leave this to simmer for 30 minutes. I've removed my smoked turkey because it's finished marinating, and I'm going to add this to a tray and then put it in a preheated oven that's at 200 degrees and leave it to roast for about 30 minutes. And all that marinade that's left behind, I'm going to add it on top to incorporate all those flavors again to make sure nothing wastes. Now the peppers have finished reducing. As you can see, it's even thicker, there's less moisture in the pot, and we're going to get ready to fry. Now I'm going to add some palm oil. You don't have to add palm oil if you like, but authentic Efo Riro is usually made with palm oil, and I know it's a lot of oil I'm using, but I beg, oil police, don't come for me. If you like a lot of oil, use more oil. If you don't like a lot of oil, then use less oil. But I know it's quite a bit, but I will be skimming a lot of it off at the end. Now that the oil has heated up, I'm going to add the reduced peppers. This is why I don't want moisture in the pot, because if there's a lot of water, this thing will bubble like hot lava. And most importantly, do not bleach your oil. You don't want your oil to be bleached, only heat it up. Now this has finished roasting and I'm going to cut up those pieces and keep them aside. Now the oil has gradually risen to the top but not completely, and now I'm going to season it. I'm going to add some locust beans, some stock fish. I'm going to season it with a little bit of crayfish, not too much, and I'm going to add some Maggi cubes into it. I added salt, but I don't think I showed myself adding salt, and some mixed herbs. You can add curry powder and all-purpose seasoning, but traditional Efo Riro really isn't made with all those stuff, but you can if you want to. And I'm going to add some chicken broth as well and mix it. If you boiled some meat like some chicken, some pomo, some shaki, it's really, you can go in with that stock and add it at this point because it will make it really flavorful. Now it's been 20 minutes and as you can see, a lot of that oil has risen to the top, and I'm going to go with my smoked turkey that I've cut up completely and add it all in. Honestly, I was so tempted to eat the smoked turkey at this point. I was busy eating it, but please do not finish all of it because as you can see, it's even smaller. And I'm going to mix that and just cover it and leave it to simmer for about 10 minutes. Now in a bowl I have some spinach that I have washed thoroughly with some cold water and cut up, and now I'm going to blanch the vegetables. I'm going to add some boiling hot water over it and just leave it to blanch for about 30 seconds. And then after that I'm going to strain it and remove all that hot water, and immediately, this is important, I'm going to go over it with some cold water to stop the cooking process. You can add in some ice cubes at this point, but cold water works just fine. And then you want to, when you remove the spinach, you want to squeeze out as much of the water as possible because you don't want there to be water in the stew. And that's it. And now I'm gonna add those that spinach back into the pot into the mixture, and as you can see the oil has risen, so you know it's time to add it in. Does anybody find it crazy how much spinach shrinks? Like, if you go to the shop and you want to buy spinach, that extra bundle that you want to buy a spinach or that extra bag, just buy it, because I bought 3 bundles and this is how much spinach was left. Like, this thing was shrinking like natural hair. But anyway, I'm going to mix that thoroughly and incorporate it into the stew. Spinach doesn't take a long time to cook. That's why it's really important that you add it close to the end when the oil has risen, because you don't want it to cook for long. And I'm gonna mix that, and this is how it's looking. Just make sure, because sometimes it can all clump together, and I want to make sure it's everywhere. And this is the finished result. I know some people like their Efo Riro with more spinach or more stew, but I just like an even distribution, like an even stew to vegetable ratio. And I serve this with some eba, and I also serve this with some boiled plantains the next day. You can have it with amala, you can have it whatever you want. And as usual, all ingredients will be linked in the description box below. Please like, comment and subscribe, and goodbye.